now. So I'll be using the same data set. In the last session, I have used the expenses data set. I just go to the Power Query editor, transform data. I'll just refresh it. And this is the data set. We have used it. And let me just do quickly the pivot. I selected the year column. Now I just go and select the expenses and hit OK. Now it is fine. Okay. And we are able to do the pivoting. What is pivoting? What is pivoting? What is unpivoting? Can someone type it in the chat window? Yeah, Priyanka, I think you missed out the last session. I hope you'd have watched the video, right? So what is pivoting? Converting from columns to rows or rows to columns? Converting rows to columns is pivoting, all right? So the other one is rows into columns, correct, right? So, and the columns to rows is unpivoting. Now I just go and do this thing. What I will do is I will do transpose. Let's see what happens when I do the transpose. So in this case, look here, when I hover the cursor on top of this one, right, the transpose is table treating rows as columns and columns as rows. Okay, it will simply rotate the data here. It converted my rows into columns. I just show you here. This is the thing, right? So this one got converted as rows, got converted as a columns here. Okay, here what happened? See, 1Q1. So 1Q1, 5,000, 5,000, 6,000. So 1Q1, 5,000, 5,000, 6,000. It got converted. Right? It converts the rows into columns. And if I select one more time, if I click on this one more time, it does the opposite. Right? So converting the rows to columns to rows is possible with this one. Now the question is, okay, with pivot, we can convert rows into columns, and unpivot, we can convert the columns into rows. And then what is the difference between transpose and this? But with the transpose, when you click on it once, it will get converted as a rows into columns. And again, when you toggle this one more time, clicking on it one more time, it will convert columns into rows. Okay. So that is the difference. Okay. But with one option, with this feature itself, we can do both rows to columns and columns to rows. We can do it. Okay. Next one is the reverse rows. When I select this, what will happen is it will simply reverse the rows. The 9th row will become first row, and 8th row will become the second row, and 7th row will become the third row. Okay. I just click on reverse rows now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Reverse rows. So now the question is, why do I have to reverse the rows? It depends on your thing. Suppose, see, in this case, hardly we have few records. If you have more number of records, if you wanted to see it from the bottom to the top, right? So bottom to top. So top down and down to top. It is possible, so that you can get a different view about the data. The volume of the data is very huge, right? So if you do this, you can entire row will get reversed. Otherwise, you need to do sorting, everything. Sorting is based on some column you will be doing it, descending, ascending order. But here it gives you the bottom record as a top one, so that ulta, right? You can see it in the reverse way. Okay. This one will give you a different idea, right? So by rotating the data, you might tend to get some answers which you never expect, those kind of pattern, or pattern, hidden pattern. Sometimes you might tend to find some kind of patterns. Okay, when you do rotating the data or transposing the data, you will get to know that. Now, so the column names are not assign properly. I just go here. I just select the transform ribbon here. Use first row as, use first row as it is. Use first row as it is. Sorry, in this case, we did the reverse rows, right? What I will do is I will just, for reverse sake, I just take the duplicate and I just say this one as the original data. We will leave it as it is. And here I just say reverse rows. And here I just keep it pivoted. Okay, this is my pivot, or we will keep it as a original data. Let's not make any changes to this one for further reference. And what I will do is, yeah, the other other point which you need to make it. Look here, I just duplicated this query, right? I just duplicated this query. In this query, I did the transposing the data, pivoting and transposing and reverse rows. All these steps we carried out, the duplicate of this original data. So in this case, if you see here, we have something called query dependencies. In the view ribbon, if you go here, you can see the query dependencies. If you click on it, you will get to know which query is depending on which one. Look here, the expenses is the original query, and the duplicated one, the expenses reverse rows. But if you see, these two queries are directly depending on the original data set. So now, once you take a duplicate of the original query, it will become independent of the other one. Okay, what I will do is I will just, for the purpose of this demo, what I will do is I will just take a reference of this one. Instead of taking the duplicate, I'll just take the reference here. In this case, what I do is I just take the month column and then do the pivoting. On the expenses column, I do the same thing here. So here I just do the pivoting expenses. What I did, I repeated the same topic. Okay, and the expenses was the original data. This one was the original data set, and I just reversed it. So what I did, so when you click on this one, the last row will become your first row. Look here, the 9th row became a first row, and the 8th row became a second row, and so on. I just duplicated this one. Simply I duplicated this one. The copy of this one got duplicated here, and this one is for my expense. But here you need to specify the column name here. Okay, you cannot promote any column header here because column is not available. Column name is not available here. Once you do the transpose or reverse, you need to explicitly create the rename the column here. You need to explicitly rename the column here. Okay, and in this case, the next one is the pivoting. Okay, in this case, I just, so in this case, I just duplicated this query, the original query. In this case, what I did, I just took the reference. I just repeat, look here, I clicked on reference. So this is a duplicate of this one, and this is the reference. So since we have duplicated, it is nowhere related to this one. Since I created reference of this one, right? What happens is this one is referencing this query. This one is referencing this query. So in this case, what I will do is I will just go and show you the view. In the view ribbon, I'll just show you the query dependencies. I'm going to click on the query dependencies here. You can see that here there is a difference here. So with the query dependencies, this option is available under your view ribbon. So with this, what you can do is you can check which query was depending on which query. So look here, this is your expenses, duplicate of this one. And from this, I duplicated this one. Since I duplicated this one, the entire data get copied here. Okay. And if you see here, you have something called not loaded, and this is not loaded. Okay, but the expenses pivoting, this is the one I created reference on this one. Please concentrate. So this is this one still referencing this query. Okay, but this is not referencing this query at all. Once you create the duplicate, that's all. Okay, is nowhere related because all the data should be available here. In this case, what happened? This one is pointing to this one pointing directly to this one, whereas the reference table, pointing to this one, referencing this one. This one is not referencing this one because this is a duplicate. In the real world scenario, you'll be working with multiple queries. In that case, you can refer, you can find out which queries are depending on which queries. So in that kind of situation, the query dependencies view is very much helpful. Okay, now the question is, this is a duplicate reference. What it does exactly? Okay, with the referenced one, it's kind of a view. If you have worked on RDBMS, any RDBMS environment, then you must be knowing the difference, right? The view and table. Table is the physical one, whereas the view is not the physical one. It is still referencing the table itself. That is what is happening here. But whereas this kind of a duplicate only. Okay. For example, if I go and make any changes here, I just go and, for example, I'm going to delete the quarter here. If I remove the quarter column from the original query, this query is referencing this one. Whatever the columns, whatever the changes that I make it to the original query, that one will be cascaded here. So okay, let me do one thing. I'll just go to look here. The source is now the quarter one column has gone. Quarter column have gone, right? Because whatever the changes you make it, that one will get reflected here. But whatever changes you do it will not get reflected here. Because for him, this is the parent. It's something like, the kids are inheriting parents' characteristic. Okay. The parents never inherit kids' characters. You just think that way. But whereas if I do any change, but if you see here, look here, this is my quarter column promoter. If you see here, yes, the quarter column is still available here because this is not referencing this query. This is independent of this one. Once you take the duplicate, when you right click on it and when you click on duplicate, this is nowhere related. It's exactly a clone. It is a clone copy of this one. So you should be aware of this one. Okay, the query dependency. This is very much helpful when you work with multiple queries. Which query is depending on which query. And okay, the next question could be like, okay, you duplicate, reference, everything is fine. But can I do duplicate? Will that duplicate the entire record here? Obviously, right? So you will have a redundant data here. But once you are done with the reshaping, for example, in this case, your manager or supervisor, he wants you to reverse the rows or he wants you to do pivoting everything. Once you are done with this, you can, remove this query because you don't require any longer. But make sure that if you have any other queries that are referencing this one, that will get affected. First of all, look here, when I select this one and if I delete this one, this query expense cannot be deleted because it's being referenced by another query. It is depending on other dependent, right? It has some dependent, hence you cannot delete this. We'll get this message. One way it is good. Mistaken if you delete it, and if you have any other queries referencing on this one, it is gone, right? So hence it is giving you a warning message, but will not allow you to delete at all. Okay. Fine. The next one, what I will do is for the next example, I will just load some other data set. So I could see a preview window here. I'm going to hit load. I'm getting some error, and we will see what is this 50,002 errors. While loading the file, we got some error. I just clicked on the view errors because yesterday I made some changes to this data set. There are pending changes in the query that have not been applied. I just clicked on the apply changes explicitly. Now it got loaded. The same issue. Yesterday we did some kind of appending the data from one file to another file. The second file has the column heading in it. Look here, the row.id, order date went in here. In the case of append, what I will do is at this moment, you don't worry about this. I will just go to this data set, and I will just use the filter number filters. Not this one. Better I just go here and select the column name. Text filter does not equal. And here also some, this is more related to your data file issue. In most of the time, we face this kind of issues. The jobs will be running. Sometimes the format of your data will not be correct. See what happens here. I just show you this one. This is the issue that will be posing in a sales scenario. This will make you to stay awake day and night to fix these kind of issues. For example, sales W04. It is something like this. I will tell you here itself. Let's say you have two files, sales 1 and sales 2. When they append the data from these two data set, when they combine, for example, here you have, let's say, the state and sales, something like that. What happened in sales 2 also, you have the column like state and sales. Yeah, state, so let's say sales amount and quantity. You have three values are there. Here you have state and then city is there in this thing. And here also you have city is there. The column order is not proper, and the sales, sales and quantity will be there. Sales quantity is same, but city, got swapped in this data set. What will happen is the city data will get into your, but first of all, this is your column header, right? When you combine these two data set, what will happen is if you see here city and state and quantity and sales amount. Okay, here you have something like let's say you have San Jose is the city name and state is California, and you sold something like 100 units and sales is 100K or something like that. But in the second data set, the state comes first, CA, and maybe you have something like yes, CA will come. Before that, what happens is the same column name repeats. Forget about the order. Let's say even the order is same, but what happens is when you do the append, state, quantity, and say this is your column name, right? This column names get appended here. Again, the cities, let's say here you have something like San Francisco and California and 20 and 500, something like that. So this data and this both the data set have same column order. Okay, let's take this way. Okay, but what happens when you combine these two data set? Just below this data set, the second file's data set will also get appended, included. In that case, while including it, it is including the column name also here, city, state, quantity and all. Okay, this column name should not get included right beneath this data set. So since this goes here, in the quantity column, QTY is there. QTY is a column name. The sales column, sales text value is there. So in that case, your job fail, or the number of records will get rejected. So it will say, this record is not the valid record. You are storing the QTY text into number type. This is actually column names, right? So in this case, it will throw an error. But if it rejects, will that have any impact? It doesn't have any impact, but it will stop the job. Okay, your job will not continue further. Because in the real time, everything is automated. So I just filtered it. So you can ignore it, something like that. Okay, this row is, but if you see that there are some data are also there, it is now the no errors. And if I go here in the sales, right? Okay, what are the columns, records that I needed? I have it here. If the job fails, there could be a number of reasons. Maybe the logic which used was not sufficient. It is not covering all the scenarios. Okay. Sometimes the data file format may not be correct. While appending the data, in this case, yes, the logic should have been taken care. When you append the data, make sure that you are removing the column header from the subsequent loads, subsequent data files, you remove the column header. But once we set up that thing, right, from the next load onwards, it will be taken care automatically. Now I just close and apply. Let's see any error is there now. Now the error have gone, right? No, we don't get any error. Next, what we will do is we'll take a look at the custom column. I just go to the Power Query editor. Here I just select sales W04. This is my query. And here what I do is, okay, in this case, what I will do is we don't have the list prices available. What is list price? It's something like, selling price. It is not available. And what I will do is before that, I will remove the dollar from this value. Okay, here the value was prefixed by dollar and I'm going to replace it with the empty string. I'm not going to specify anything. It will simply strip this dollar from this value. And then if you scroll down here, you can see the NA here. I just replace the NA by 0 or something like that. So what is NA? Not available. If in case of any missing values, any blank values are there in this column, it will replace that with the NA in Power Query. And also we could see that blank record is there. This is of no use. Probably we can drop it here. So how do I drop this, remove this blank row? Currently we are in Power Query editor. Even in this case, you select the home ribbon and here you will find the the remove rows. Click on the remove top rows and put 1 here because I want to remove the top first row only. That has blank record in it. I removed it. We are done. So next one, I just create the new column. This column is going to be, for example, I just go to the add column ribbon. Here I'm going to select the custom column. Custom column is something like let's say you want to add some additional columns to the existing table. Already you have 26 columns. In addition to that, you want to include some new columns. This is based on some business requirement, reporting requirements. Supposing they want you to get the list price, but list price is not available here. But you cannot arrive list price just by dividing the sales by quantity. See, the one way how we can arrive the list price is sales divided by quantity. But this will not give you the exact list price because, for example, here this sales, if it is a and the gross sales, right? So in this case, what happens, you have given the discount for some products, okay, and then the tax, you need to deduct the tax and uh, your tax and the discount you need to deduct it. Only then you will get this sales amount, right? So in this case, if I divide it by quantity, it will not give you the exact list price, but still, since you don't have the list price available at all in this table, they want to get some approximate idea about what is the approximate list price. They are okay with this formula. Okay, so in this case, we have created a new column here. They need an additional column wherein they wanted to see the approximate price, list price, selling price. So what we did, we sales by quantity. In this case, we just created a new data here, but it is throwing an error here. And add custom column, and let's go and see what is the problem here. Yes, we have removed that from. We cannot apply to types, text and number. Okay. See what we did. We removed the dollar and we replaced the NA by 0 in the sales column, but we forgot to change the data type. Still, it remains the text data type. I did this, okay? You remove the dollar from this value and then you replace the NA by 0. Fine, but still it remains text, isn't it? You need to convert it explicit number type. Select decimal number. Yes, now only it got converted number data type. Now, if you go and create the custom column, I hit OK. We got the list price now. Good. Okay, what are the other scenarios will create custom column? Okay, I will just show you. Here we have the order date. I just replace, as I did in the previous session, I replace the hyphen by /. First, we'll make the format of all the values in this column consistent. And then I just click on this one and using local. Instead of selecting date or date, and see, we need to convert the date data type. Instead of using this option, I'm going to select the using locale because this is a US date format, month, date, year format. Here in this one, date, and here English United States. I just say OK. And here the ship date, replace the values by hyphen. The same thing, I do it. Or you can do it the other way around also. We're able to successfully convert these two date columns into date data type. You can see the calendar icon here, which means these two columns got converted successfully the date data type, but it is an date data type. So now what I do is I just go and create another column, custom column. Here, I just select the ship date minus the order date. And I call this one as duration, shipment duration. Shipment duration. How long it took to deliver the products to the customers. I just hit OK. Look here, it is all giving in terms of days, hours, minutes, second, but we don't need the hours, minutes, second. I just convert this a whole number. Okay. So in this case, 0 to 1, and let's go and check order. Look here, the order date and ship date are same, which means the same day they delivered it. Look here, the shipping mode was same day. Since they delivered it on the same day deliveries done on the same day. Very good, 0. Right? They can do further analysis with this one. For example, if the SLA, you should deliver the products to the customers on or before 3 days. In that case, what you do is with the help of the shipping duration, you can check which all orders we did not deliver it on or before. So look here, we just unselect this one and then 4, 5, 6, 7 and load more. 6, 7, only this much is there. I just unselect this one. See, you have some negative or something wrong here. You need to check that also. But for us, we are simply skipping this one. But in the real data, even this matters. You need to go and check why we are getting minus 360. Okay, it should not be minus 360. Some wrong dent went in there. I just select this one, data for date format error. I just convert the whole number. And if you see here, yeah, now it is fine. Everything is fine. Okay. And then when you load more, you'll find something odd here. Let us see if we are getting, yes, we are getting something wrong here. Let us go and check this one. Order date, look here. The ship date, there is something wrong here with this data, right? Ship date cannot be earlier than your order date. So how come somebody is ordering on 19th June, but 2014, but you delivered it on 24th June 2000? There is something wrong with the data here. So in this case, you need to check. You need to keep some condition. If the ship date is greater than order date, then you compute that one. Okay, that is the condition. You can use it here while creating this column. Why don't you give it a try? Okay, I will share this data set because in this data set I combine the data from 2 different files and then I put it here. This is an assignment for you all. So what you need to do is take this file and then select this specific record. You know how to select this one, right? For example, I just click on the cross icon next to this one. I just go and say one more time. The duration is like a whole number. Change type to, right? So 012. And you need to click on this drop down here. And then you will not find any issues. Okay, in the real life scenario, you'll be working with huge volume of the data. Click on the load mode and go and check. So now you find the minus 360 and we understood the reason for minus 360. So in that case, what we need to do is to overcome the future issues like this. You need to implement a logic wherein in this formula, yeah, ship date minus order date, right? In this, you need to check a condition before subtracting this. Subtract the records wherein the ship date is greater than order date. Okay, so in that kind of situation, you can overcome those kind of issues. The next scenario is okay, it will skip those 5 records. Okay, in that case, what will happen is those 5 records, whatever the sale amount, whatever the sale we made it will not be included as as part of this file, right? So in that case, what will happen is it will include it, but only thing is it will put some null value here. Ship date minus order date null. Look here, we have some null values also there. You need to check that one also and give it a try and see how you can handle this one. The simple clue is before you subtract this, you check if the ship date is greater than order date, only then you need to subtract it. Otherwise, don't do anything. Okay, so you give it a try. Okay, let me see how many of you can give it. So you have every liberty to go and do Googling and give it a try. Otherwise, we will discuss in the next session. The other option is yeah, so yeah, you just give it a try. Okay, this is one thing. But the load more is very important. Okay, now you understood how to create the custom column. This is the explicit way of creating the custom column. Which one? The shipment duration. We explicitly created it. Ship duration. This column we have created explicitly, right? By using some formula. This formula is also called as the business rule or business logic. With this business logic, we are able to create a new column, ship duration. It is also called as a derived column. This column was derived based on the some formula or based on the existing column. Fine. And the next one is, I just go here and then I select the order date. And here in the add column ribbon itself, you can see something called date menu here. When you select this one, you will find a lot of options here. Since the order date is a date data type, this one got enabled automatically when you select this column. And here, for example, in this column, I just want to extract only the year. And then I want to extract only the month. I want to extract year from this column and store it in a separate column. And same thing, I won't do it with the rest of the options. I want to extract only the month from this column and store it in a separate column. Let us give it a try. If I click on the year, look here, new column called created automatically. I did not click on the custom column, right? So I just selected the order date column and then I just use this option here. I was able to successfully extract only the year from this column and then stored it separately in another column. And the next one is month. Look here, I extracted month separately, year separately. This is ordered year, order month. You can probably give some meaningful name, order year, order month, something like that. In this case, I don't need it year. So why we need to extract the year separately from the date column, month also why we need to extract it? Because we want to do some kind of like for like analysis. For example, in year 2013, what is the sales, total sales? And the 2012, what is the total sales? How much sales we made in total in each year? I want to compare it side by side. And I wanted to find out the variation. The current year sales minus the previous year sales. That one will give you the variation. And also you can compute the percentage of variation also. Right? Variation in your sales compared to current year. So to compare current year with previous year, like for like analysis, or not only the year, even at the month level, you can do it. Day level also, you can do it. If you extract the day alone from this, so this is a pretty cool feature, the date feature. So in this case, all you need to just select whatever the the time that you want to extract. For example, if you want to extract only the quarter on quarter analysis, you can do it. It will extract the quarter. This is pretty simple. So this date falls in third quarter. This order date falls in. So this order we received on third quarter of 2012. This order we received on first quarter of 2013. Very good, right? So in this case, the custom columns got created implicitly when we just selected this option. So the other way of doing is, yes, we can use look at date, quarter of year. We can also create explicitly like this custom column. You can go here. If you know the function name, you can extract it. For example, quarter to, just for the sake of example, and let here, here we have some date dot quarter of year. Here what I do is I just select the order date and then I put it here. If you know the function, this is the built-in function. That is, these built-in functions are related to M language. Power Query editor uses something called M language. Like I said here, the table dot add column. I just clicked on the date menu here, and then here I just selected year. Behind the scene, Power Query Editor generates this script on our behalf. Okay, hence you don't have to write the script explicitly. Okay, so here I just click on OK. Was not recognized. There was a mistake here. Date. Okay, let me just go on inserted quarter. Here I just go and select this one. But okay, this is the one. Let me do one thing. I'll just reuse this one. Added custom to. In this case, what happened? Okay, I just move this. How do I change this one? Next to this step, you will find the wheel icon. Just click on it. Look here, date. So this date somehow it came here mistakenly. Make sure that when you are typing it, date, you're not, though it says no syntax error, there is a syntax error here, right? So what I do is I just say date dot look here quarter of year. All you need to just type the date. The rest of them will get displayed automatically. This is called code completion feature. You don't have to remember the exact function name. Okay, now this one was not, see, earlier it was prefixed with date again. So to date was there. I just fixed it now. Okay, quarter two. Now it is doing it. Explicitly also you can create the custom column in the case of extracting the quarter, month, year from the date column. Implicitly also you can get it. Implicitly, right? So just point and click. But in this case, you should be knowing the function name correctly. Look here, I made a syntax mistake. Just before this, I typed date. Mistakenly it went in there and it was throwing an error. But here it is hassle free. If you select the date column and if you order date, and then if you select this one will get enabled and you can extract month or quarter, whatever it is. Here you don't have to remember this function name. It is completely hassle free. That's the reason why we say the Power BI tool is a low code tool. You don't have to write explicitly code, lines and lines of code. You don't have to write it even for a simple transformation. I just, okay. So now you learned how to create a custom column. What are the other scenarios we will create custom column? Other scenarios like, for example, I have the first name, customer first name. Let's say I have a data set called customers. In that I have first name and last name column is there. I want to combine the first name and last name. So in that kind of situation, also you can create a new column. Okay. For example, you want to combine the category along with the product name. You just think this kind of first name, this is a last name. Okay. In that kind of situation, also you can go for creating a custom column. Or the other scenarios like year and month, you want to store it together, year, month. What in that kind of situation, I'm going to give some meaningful name. Okay, year, month. And we have created the year column here. Okay, and then what I do is here, I'm going to use ampersand sign. And then I'm going to use hyphen, ampersand sign. And then I'm going to say month. Okay. But there is a syntax mistake here. It is not accepting this one. So what you need to do, you need to put it in a quote here. Still the button is not enabled here. So the OK button is not. The token literal expected show error. When I click on this, it shows something wrong here. Month is a number data type. Hence you cannot combine this one here. Okay. And here what you do is, or else we'll take another example. Like I said, category. Now there are no syntax error. OK button got enabled. I will come back to that previous thing. Okay, so let's say no, I have a specific requirement. I want to combine year and month. In that case, what you do is you convert this as a string. Year, you convert the string data type, and you convert the string data type instead of number data type. And then you can do, you can combine the two column values into single column. Okay. So for example, in this case, what I did, category is a separate column, product name is a separate column. I want to combine these two values together, but in between, I need to leave some space here so that I can distinguish, after combining these two values or merging the two values, which one is category, which one is product name, right? So for that, if you want, see, in simple term, to combine the values from two different columns, especially in the case of text data type, you can use ampersand. Followed by the column name, you need to specify the ampersand. And then you double quote. You started with the double quote, and I left space and then double quote and then ampersand. The ampersand is helpful to combine the values from these two columns. Look here, I just hit OK here. Look here, the first one is technology, followed by that your product name is there. Furniture is the category, followed by this one. This is how you can combine it. Now, let's say we will go back to this example. I was talking about year, month. The same thing, what we will do is we'll convert this as a text data type. And text data type. Got it? Now it became a text data type. If I want to combine this now, it is possible. Let's say your manager asks you to create a column wherein you want to combine both the year and month. This is one option. Year hyphen month. You want the column to be created with this naming standard, year hyphen month. Here what I do is I just select the year column. And then I just use ampersand. Because with the ampersand alone, I can combine more than one column. Without ampersand, you cannot combine the column. But with ampersand also, we can combine only the text data type. Look here, now the OK button got in. Why? The ampersand, with the help of the ampersand, you can combine the two columns or more than two columns, provided that the column should be text data type. Now the question is, no, I don't want to, convert these two columns to text data. Is there any other way you can combine this one? Just that one, you just give it a try. Looks here, year, month. Sorry, this one I should have given it with some meaningful name, category and product name. If you want to rename the column, you just click on it here once and then you can rename it. Here I just say year, month format. Year, month. So usually we don't give it like this. Okay, year, month. There is some error here. What is the error here? An unexpected error occurred. And you just go and check it. We don't see any error because we already filtered this one. Yeah, we will just go and check where the error is. End of the day, you should be very good at troubleshooting also, in case any error comes, but you will get a lot of error in the real life scenario. But now I just did some kind of refresh. Now the error went off. So look here, each and every column, we get these statistics, valid, error, how many percentage of values you have valid, valid values in this column, error. So by seeing that, we don't see any error, but though it was showing some error, sometimes it will confuse us. Even though we don't have any error, it will confuse us. Now it is fine. But here, instead of 7 to 10, we use text here. Jan, Feb, March, something like that. Year, hyphen, Jan, something like that. So for that, I just selected the order date column, and then here you go here, date, name of date. So not the name of day, sorry, month name. Okay, currently I just select the order date. Look here, even with this 50,000 records here, it takes this much of time. Look here, date and the month name of month. month name, we got it. Okay, so this one I wanted to combine with this one, but here the month name should be 3-letter. This is the assignment for you. Just give it a try. Okay, month name supposed to be a 3-letter. How we can do it? How we can extract only 3 letters from this? And then I want to combine the 3 letters along with the year 2012 hyphen July, Jul, JUL, 2013 hyphen 5. This is the one, you just give it a try. Okay. The simple thing is the column from examples, which I will be explaining it probably in next session, because today itself we spend this much of time on this one. If you want to do a lot of data transformation, you can do it this way. And one thing is here, I have converted the year and month as text data type. So for you, the assignment is don't convert the year and month as text data type. Okay. Now you might be asking this one, without converting these two columns text, how can I combine this? Right. So what I will do is I will just go here, custom column. Here I will take some other number type to give you, for example, this is my number type. What I will do is I will just say so we have something called number from text. Okay, number to text. You convert this as a number to text data type. Look here, I just show you, I just gave you the clue here. Here I just say sales text, something like that. I just click on OK, but it's throwing an error. Number to text. Let me just open it here, and you click on the error, you will get some kind of error. We cannot apply field access to the type function, values function, key sales. Okay, this is not going to work. Okay, I will leave it to you with I will leave that with you. You just give it a try, do some googling and see how you can convert the number type to text data set. The one option is you can explicitly go and convert the text data type, but it is already the decimal data type. Can I convert it back to text here? Number to text, yes, you can convert, but text to number you cannot convert it. But in the case of text to number, if you want to convert it, it will throw an error. Okay, but number to text you can convert it. Now it got converted text, but this is explicitly we have converted text data, but we don't want to disturb this one because this column was dependent on many other formulas. So there is a formula like I want to compute the net sales. Let's say this is your gross sales. The net sales, to calculate the net sales, this one's supposed to be a decimal number or number type. Just because your one requirement, if you consider text data, gone. The same thing is what I'm trying to say is the year column and month column, the month name. Month name is already text, and the year column is a number type. In this case, you convert this as text, find out which function you can use it in M language to convert the number to text. Okay, number to text, I've used it, but in this case, it is throwing an error, right? So the sales.txt, it is not converted in text data type. Just try, is there any other function is available? Okay, anyhow, I'll send you the clue later. Okay, and you just give it a try. There are some built-in functions using which you can convert it. So now you understood with these examples how you can create additional columns to the existing table: year, month, day, name, month. How you can create additional columns explicitly, implicitly. With this option, we are able to create the additional columns implicitly just by pointing and clicking it. Whereas with this option, we are able to create the columns explicitly, additional columns explicitly we can create it. So we will, okay, I will send you more assignments related to custom columns also, so that you can practice it. And the next one is the conditional column. Next one is conditional column. I just selected the conditional column. Sometimes what will happen is you will have to implement the complex logic to create a new column. In that kind of situation, this is very much handy, conditional column. If you wanted to create a new column based on a complex business logic, which involves too much of if and else, in that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. If you know the M language, then you can write the script. But writing M language for a simple transformation, it is not required. So what we are going to use these features, the conditional column. Okay, with this, we are going to implement a little bit complex transformation. We are going to create the new column, which involves some kind of a little bit of complex transformation. Okay, I just say here the rate band. I just go here and see. I have the list price column here. Okay, and what it is based on which I'm going to create. So I just see this one as perfect decimal number. Okay, and what I do is I will be clicking on conditional column. So I'm going to create a bucket, price band, something like that. Bucket. What do you mean by bucket? If the column name is list price, you select this one, and then the list price is less than 300. I say it is a low. Okay, low bucket. So all the products which we sell it less than 300, I just name that as a low, and I'm going to create additional class. And here I just select the list price again. And here also I say is less than, okay, is less than 1000. Anything less than 1000, I say medium. I'm going to create, if this condition is true, flag, create a new column by the name of price band. In that, you put those products prices are less than 300. You put low for those products. Okay. And the same thing is applicable medium. And the next one is the list price. I just selected the list price. In this case, the list price is less than or equal to, or less than. I just say you can use less than or equal to. Less than here, you say 5,000 up to 5, whatever the biggest value you can specify here. I just call as a high. Likewise, you can add as many class as you wanted. So in this case, my requirement is create a price band column wherein I need to have low, medium, high based on this rule, business rule. I just hit OK button now. We can see that medium, high, where is low? Low is not there here. It is there here. Make sure that all the three conditions are evaluated. And if you see here the low, what we will do is I just select this one, and then I'm going to sort ascending. Low price will appear on top here. Postal code, sorted rows. Okay, why it is going to price by order dot? We could not convert to number. Postal code. It is showing something different. 1 second. Price by. Load more and see if we find anything else. Okay, we have I, low, medium, and I just hit on OK here. Yeah, order date. Okay, because descending is not working here. Ideally, it should work here. There is some problem here. 1 second. Let me do one thing. So here it shows alphabet, right? ABC 1, 2, 3. Make sure that you are converting text data type. and then I do ascending here. Postal code. Again, we could not convert to okay, postal dot code column is there. So if you want to search any column, you just go to the view and here go to column. Here I just check the postal code. Here we have NE and all is there, right? The text data NE is there. So, but how this one is depending on that one, right? So there is some issue here. For the time being, I'm going to remove this. I'll just go here and the price band, we will do ascending here again. Data format, we could not convert to number post. This one probably I will check and come back. Look here. So now we are able to create a conditional column, price band. With this, change type 6 here, remove columns. Okay. Okay, we are able to successfully create a conditional column, but while sorting it, we are posing some error. I will just check and come back on this one. So medium, low error, because this data file, like I said, since I appended the data, it has got a lot of some issues in it, data related issues. One way it is good, if you work this kind of, data, you will get to know, you will get a lot of errors. Only when you work with this kind of data set, you will learn a lot. So low, medium, high. So now the question is, why should I create a price band wherein I should flag those products fall in so and so range, low, medium, high? Because we want to do some kind of analysis later point in time. So of these three buckets, in which bucket are we getting more margin? Okay. To sustain the competition, sometimes what we do is even though the product cost is high, see the common phenomenon is if the product cost is high, obviously the margin will also be high. That is what we all think, right? That is what the common phenomenon. Higher the price, higher the margin. But there are some products, the product list price itself high or cost price itself high, but the margin is less. We kept very less margin. Okay. To sustain the momentum, because my car, in line with my competitor's price, I wanted to reduce the price because my competitor is selling at the lesser margin, wafer thin margin is selling the products. Right? In that kind of situation, we want to do some kind of analysis. Are we getting good profit? Which segment are we getting good profit? Sometimes what will happen is even the medium price, you will sell more volumes though the price is less compared to the high, the volume is more. In that case, what will happen is the profitability is more. So to do those kind of analysis, you need this kind of column. So in that kind of situation, we create conditional column. There are other scenarios also. You can use the conditional column. Any complex logic, if you wanted to do it, you can do it. But if you wanted to implement very, very complex logic, then you need to write your own code. Okay. The next one is the column from example. This is a pretty cool feature. This is powered by artificial intelligence. For example, here, I just wanted to take this order date column, select this order date column. I want to change the format, the value, right? I want to change the date format. So I want to display year, month, date. Instead of month, date, year, I want to convert it to year, month, date. So if you know the M language, it is fine. You can convert it. But for doing some kind of simple thing, you don't have to remember the M language. You don't have to explore M language. In that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. For example, column from example, if you click on this drop down here, you have two options. I just want to select this second option from selection because I selected only this column. On this column, I want to apply this feature from selection. So don't worry, I'm going to wrap up with this example, okay? So here I just say 2012 -07-31. I just type some sample data and I press enter. This is the format that I wanted. And next one is here also I just say 2013-02-05. Look here, I just typed some sample data. So in this case, we are teaching, it's like how we could and how you teach your kid, right? So in this case, so this is how you should extract the data. We just teaching the algorithm here, the column from examples which are here. So this is how you need to format the rest of the data. Yes, it did it correctly. Look here, when you look at this data set value here, data point 2002-12 year, month and date. But when it comes to some data here, it is causing some problems. So in this case, 02, the month begin with 00, right? So in this case, what happened? Even in this case, it prefixed 0 for this month. But here already we have two digits value for the month here. So what we need to do is you need to again teach him. If you encounter this kind of pattern, you simply follow the same thing. So here I just say 17. So in the case of artificial machine learning, this is how we train the algorithm. We teach the algorithm with the sample data. Now you see, and if you see 11 here, 2 digit is there. Now it is doing perfect job. It learned the pattern from the sample data which we keyed in here. And then it made our life very simple. For the rest of the values, it did the format conversion automatically. But if you have to write a script explicitly, you should know this one, text.combine. There is a function called text.combine. With that, what you do is you can extract here. Look here, this is here, y, hyphen, and then you can combine the values by hyphen also, hyphen. And here, date to text, the date value, right? Order date. From the order date, extract 07 hyphen dd 331 date to text. Okay, convert the date to text, and then so there is a function called date to text, and again here text.combine. So we put everything in the parenthesis. So first we convert this text and extract yy, and then month year. Only when you convert the date to text, not only the number, okay, even the case of date, if you convert this date to text, you can combine all the values into a single value. And finally, we are using the other function. We wrapped all the things into text.combine. So with that, it is doing it. So you don't have to write a script like this, but if you know this, it is good. Okay. But this one will come for our rescue. If you don't know what logic to derive in order to extract or convert this date into this format, then this is very much helpful. Column from example. So today we learned the how to create a custom column, and also we started with exploring the reshaping the data, how to reverse the rows, and what is transpose, what is the difference between transpose and pivot and unpivot. And the difference is nothing. When you click on transpose once, it will convert rows to columns, and when you click on transpose again, it will convert rows to columns. Whereas pivot convert the rows to columns. You can do it with pivot. Unpivot, the opposite, columns to rows if you want to convert, unpivot. Next, we have seen the custom column, how to create a custom column. As part of the custom column, we've explored how to create the columns explicitly, how to add additional columns to the existing data set. And also we have seen how to create the custom column implicitly using the date menu. For example, the date menu option, how we can do it. And also how do we combine the values. For example, year, month, how we can. So that is the one I've given you assignment. But still what I did, I converted the month and year as a text data type, and then we combined it. Okay. Without converting the text, is there any function like here, look here, date to text, right? So number to text, I've used it. It was not working. You just give it a try. Is there any other function that is available in order to convert the number to text? And then you use hyphen, something like that. Okay. And probably you can, follow this function also. This one might also be helpful. Okay. Text.combine. So, but inside that, instead of date, you need to use a number, right? Something like that. Okay. And then you convert the year to text and month to text, month name to text. Okay. So that the 2012-Jan, but again, the Jan should, I don't want the full name of the month, 3 letters only. That is an assignment for you, give it a try. And finally, we explored the conditional column and column from examples. If you want to have the moderate, complex logic to be implemented, business logic to be implemented, in that case, you can go for conditional column. And next one is column from examples. Here, you don't have to derive the complex logic. It will come for your rescue, especially when you don't know what function to be used, what logic to be used to create a derived column. So in that kind of situation, you can give it a try with this one. In this case, you just keyed in some sample data based on which it learns the pattern, and then it converts the data in the required format. And the assignment for you here is, finally, I'm going to hit OK here. Now my new format of the order date column is ready. Look here, you can rename this column. And the next assignment is, for example, in this data set, I have country and state column is there. In the single column, we have the mix of country and state column. The first two was your country, and the later two words are related to state. But it is completely unstructured data because we do not. So, for example, right, we cannot say all the countries' first two word is the country name, right? All the text values, first two words are country. We cannot say, right? But if you see here, the first one single word itself tells us the country name. The rest of the three word tells us it's a the state name. So this completely unstructured, and use the column from examples, and you separate both the year and state separate. You separate the country and state from this column and put it in a separate columns. Column should have the country data in it, and state column should have only the state values in it. So with this, I'm going to wrap up the session, today's session. Any questions so far? Okay, the timings, tomorrow will start 7:30 a.m. Tomorrow will continue. What you do is, probably if time permits, you can practice it. Otherwise, the weekend, you can practice it. And make sure that this Sunday you are going to submit this one. What I will do is, right after this session, I will share this file to you all, and then the data set also. Okay, you practice it, because this data set you will not find it in my GitHub or somewhere. I just made a change yesterday. It's yesterday only. Okay, I'll send this data file. Just play around with this, and also I will strongly recommend use my file and then play around with it. And other aspect is, you load the data, everything from the scratch, and run it. Look here. Now the other question is, on your behalf, I'll tell you, if I share this file to you, you will be downloading it in your laptop, or you forward this file to your email, and from your laptop, by logging to your email, you download this file. Once you download this file, how do I use it? When I click on something, it is throwing an error. I just say view errors file. I just see, now you will find some other problem here with view errors. I just applied it. There is an error here. Only one record have some error in it. You just troubleshoot it, because you should be good at troubleshooting also. I have shown you how to troubleshoot. Just give it a try. Okay. And the point what I'm trying to make is, once you download this file in your laptop, if you want to make some changes to the data set, or if you want to do something, right, it will throw an error. In that case, what you do is, you open this file which I send it to you, click on the transform data menu in the drop down. Okay, here you can see the data source settings. You click on this, you will see what files I used in this report file, expenses and sales underscore WC. I will send these two files to after the session. Make sure that in your laptop you create a folder by the name of D:dat1. Let's say if you don't have a D drive, I have only C drive. Select this file and then go to change source. Click on change source, or whatever the folder that you want to use it, you can use it, C:. So make sure that in this folder, you see in the C drive, you create a folder, that one. In that folder, you keep this file. This file, I'll send it to you. You download this data file also, and then create this folder and keep it here. Or if you say, no, I have D drive is also available. The D drive, you go and create a new folder called that one. In that folder, you keep these two files, and then you just play around this, it will work well. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Got it? Fine, I explained it everything in detail. I'm going to